Hello. We are making a video together. Yes. Look how good the dog looks in that fluffy material. That is good. He has the same color as the fluffy material. Really gorgeous. Yes, that is a gorgeous dog, is that? Yes, that is a gorgeous dog, is that? A gorgeous dog. And I think he is related to those Boer bears and to the Pakistani Mastiff mixed with Bulldog. So that's what I think. Because he doesn't have the same face as the Pitties, and he doesn't have the same face as the American Bully either. I had to compare them again on the internet. So his face is much better. He has an amazing face, just like those amazing guard dogs that they have out there. Really strong, just shorter. So this is my favorite English laurel here behind me. I trim that occasionally into a cube, and that looks good. Yes, that looks really good. The light is kind of weird right now. Paul cut this today. That looks really good. It needs to be trimmed even more, and then he lets the clipping material go through the lawnmower, and then he mulches it with the lawnmower, and then we have a pile of mulch which we then use for our composting, for the completely green living. And behind this English laurel are 5 regular sized trash cans with holes underneath for earthworms to get in, and that's where all the bio waste goes into it, and it has no smell at all, and it's fantastic. And that is the future. Okay, total green lifestyle is the future on planet Earth. Okay, that's the truth. Okay, if we want to save this planet, everyone has to go fully green. Full green lifestyle, full green, full composting cycle, all, all bio waste has to be composted. And if you have a mulcher, mulchers are going to be something that everyone needs. Everyone's going to have to buy a mulching machine. Also a lawnmower, of course, electric, fully electric. If possible, run by the daylight, run by solar power. Okay, that's how it has to be done. He's getting into trouble. Baby, come on now. Baby, don't give me a hard time, please. Baby. He is bored. He needs stimulation. Yes, he got into a bunch of trouble. He took one of those hand shovel brooms, which a cheap one, was like a cheap handle that is brittle and all of that. He took that on the couch in the living room. He started chewing on it. Before I knew it, he had already chewed it up, and splinters from hard plastic on the couch, and I was really worried that he may have swallowed those. So we have to be really extra careful in general, for any dog custodian. I don't call them owners. We are custodians. We're the caregivers to our animals. Okay, so if you are a dog caregiver, whether you have borrowed the dog or whether the dog is full-time living with you, you have to pay attention 24 hours a day. You cannot leave them unattended. They all throws things over, they get into stuff. He wants to also get into the compost buckets. We have to be very careful. But the most important thing is that you don't have plastic items flying around that are dangerous for dogs, like splintery plastic items, cheap broom handles or something like that. Or also like these, for example, these laundry clips that he uses to clip the tarp onto the fire pit. You know, that's another thing that I am worried about. He might go for that. So we have to constantly monitor our animals. It's the truth, you know. I leave comments for people under videos. I always get hate comments back because people think they know better, or they don't need to do all of this, or they say they work, you know, you don't know what it means to work. Those kind of comments also. And yes, and I tell them, if you want a dog, you can't work. You can't go out of your house to work for someone else. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you have to stay at home. You have to be a stay-at-home parent, and you have to be there for your animals 24 hours. Okay, all the time, non-stop. Okay, you have to watch your animals, and you have to make sure that they are safe and protected from plastic materials and from hurting themselves on whatever, you know, like utensils, knives, tools, particularly electric garden tools. Paul used the electric hedge trimmer. That's a humongous thing. That looks scary, you know. I mean, you can defend yourself with that to anyone. Humongous machine. It looks like a mega machine gun or something. And so I got mad at him. He was starting to use that with him here in the garden. I took him in the house. I closed the door. Then he forgot to close the main door. That was really important. Then he got back out. He was excited about these hedge trimmers, and I came out in the nick of time, hollering, stop, you know. So you cannot be doing hedge trimming or can't use any kind of machine, you know, any kind of electric saw or whatever when you have animals around. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you have to bring the animals in the house. Someone has to watch over them. The doors have to be safely closed. The dogs should not be able to open the doors, and then you can safely do your garden work. Okay, that's how it works. So, but anyway, I want to talk about psychology, as I always want to talk about. It's nice now in the garden. I really enjoy it. It's wonderful, peaceful now. It wasn't peaceful earlier. There was a lot of stress. Then he also took a bottle and he started to play ball with the bottle. That's okay, but I had to take the lid off so that he wouldn't chew the lid and then accidentally swallow it. We have to really be careful with all of these things. I cannot emphasize that enough. Then he started to get the real large box of Swiss Miss hot chocolate pockets. Real large bulk box from Walmart. And in the nick of time, I saw that he was starting to chew. If nobody was there, he would chew that open, and he would chew all the packets open, and he would eat the hot chocolate mix. and that's dangerous for dogs. So make sure you have all of these things put away safely. Very, 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 very infinitely important. Okay, that's the truth. So, but anyway, I want to talk about psychology, and first of all, I want to say I care about everyone. Okay, I really do. I care about the craziest whack jobs, personalities, multi personalities, multi scam artist account, whatever, catfishers. What I care about all of them. I really do. I do. I'm a sucker for that in some way, but it's good, because somebody has to be there for them psychologically, energetically. Okay, so he always looks into the bedroom when nobody's in there, and then I wonder what is in there. Maybe rats. Now he's looking under the house. I have to always keep an eye on him here. Yes, I have to always keep an eye on the dog, because also the wire fence there under the house, Paul put that up there for the papa dog, or the papa would have gone right under the house, because they're wild animals sometimes sitting there, cats and raccoons, and the papa always wanted to get under there, so he quickly put this wire up, but then he had to do more maintenance. So because he would also squeeze underneath the house, and I don't know what he would do then. That's really, really scary. So I'm really worried about this. This is kind of loose, just standing on the floor, standing on the ground, and he has such a strong jaw, he might pull that wire, and then I don't know what he would do then, squeeze underneath. So I always have to, when he goes in the garden, I have to go with him. I'm not gonna leave him out here on his own. Paul fixed the fence over there where he went in there, but then the next day he pulled that. I already knew that was gonna happen. He pulled all that wire stuff off, and then it was lying on the side there, and I was like, Paul, he pulled all of that off, you have to fix that again. So now he fastened it with some tie wraps, and I hope that will work. So yeah, so we have to be more responsible, okay, with our animals. And the light is weird for some reason. I don't know. It kind of makes my face dark. I'm trying to figure out the best possible light solution that makes it darker. So I guess like this. So looking out there into the horizon on that side, I guess that's looking south. This way is south. The ocean is over there. And then I can see, if I stand up there, I can see all the way into the distance. I can see the mountain ranges. Looks really nice. It's great. If the hedge growing up so tall now that I don't have to see the street or the street lamps or Burger King down there, and the freeways, 2 freeways like parallel, so I can look all the way into the distance, and I can see the trees all the way out there, miles and miles from here. That looks really good. It's really nice. And right now the traffic is not as bad as it used to be. So I noticed that there are less cars on the road now. So yeah, this is like a relief, It's a stress relief. It's a relief for this planet, really, And it's also infinitely sad and tragic at the same time. So all of this at the same time. If we look at it from a wider perspective, what's happening with the pandemic, with the different viruses that are out going around now, it's infinitely sad and tragic and horrific. And from a wider perspective, the earth is recovering. So they experimented with this in a way. I don't know if they deliberately experimented with this, but when in the beginning in 2020, it was like March or April, when the word really got around about the virus, and people started to, and they also had people stay at home. So for, I don't know, for like 2 months or something, the earth started to recover. Environmentalists were doing tests and checks and stuff like that. The wildlife was recovering. I mean, the animals had less stress. Everything was more peaceful. So, yeah, of course, it has a humongous positive effect on this planet. And people will get mad and say, you put the other life first before humans. Well, if we look at it from a sky perspective, as Captain Paul Watson already said, because they keep bugging him with that, because they want to slander him and all of that. But he doesn't shy away from any of these questions. He'll say it straight, matter-of-factly into any reporter's or interviewer's face. They'll ask him, I heard you think earthworms are more important than humans. He'll say, as a matter of fact, yeah, that's a fact. And I'll tell you why. Because without earthworms, the carcasses wouldn't even decompose. Can you imagine the mess that would create? I mean, it's unthinkable. And then people come with pesticides and cause so many problems with that. I mean, so incredibly many problems. You cannot even wrap your head around it. Ecological damage, they cause their own biological damage, they cause the C word. I don't even want to say it, I mean, it's crazy, they cause watershed pollution, unbelievable chaos and horror was caused by pesticides. And then if there are no bugs, if there are no insects, if there are no earthworms, then they really create a mess with viruses and bacteria and E. coli, and I mean the list goes on. It's a cascading domino effect of horror, unbelievable horror that humans want to cause themselves with their terrible mistakes, and with their recklessness and with their lack of knowledge in biology. So sad for me to see. I mean, someone who cares will pay attention to these things. Someone who cares will think, oh, pesticides, that doesn't sound good, that will damage the ecosystem. We need the ecosystem to break down the waste material, This is so incredibly important, this information. So I always put that into my videos because it is so incredibly important. Okay? And Paul always says, you can't stick with one subject. No, because all of these subjects are equally important. All of it, This is even more important than psychology. So how we handle a dog, how we handle our gardens, and so on. How we handle all the entire cosmos of scavenger insects, and so it's this is an entire flora and fauna that depends every one depends on the other. So we depend on earthworms. So yeah, they are more important. Okay, so all of this is like, it goes from the bottom up, really. All these insects are the most important. All the scavenger insects are the most important. The entire ecology, the biology, the biosystems, okay, in their own natural functions are infinitely important. It is infinitely important to keep everything in its natural function and not start messing with chemicals. Okay, very, very important. This is so important. Write it on a paper, hang it over your bed. Really. Live naturally. Really important information. This is the most important, what I'm saying right now, for this planet here. This is our Mother Earth ship, okay? We depend on her. We are in a network of biological organisms that depend on the natural health of this planet. And people are ignoring all of this. They're only concerned about profit maximization, Monsanto getting into the government, Barack Obama. There was an incredible breach of trust for this planet, what Barack Obama did, hiring all of these vested interest people into the most legislative seats there are in the White House, hiring the CEO of Monsanto as the head of the Department of Agriculture. I mean, right there, right in your face, right in your face, blatant corruption. And I'm sure he got paid for that. He got paid a couple $1 million for that, for doing that. Because he knew he would get under fire from environmentalists for this, and he would rather not do it, but then he'll get paid. So people have their price. Keep that in mind, So it's sad. We would rather think of him being good, right? Yeah, I do too. But I already knew that from the very beginning on. My intuition already told me that he was the deus ex machina for the corporate agenda, to take votes away from Hillary Clinton, and then they can do anything they want with him. They can just give him anything to sign. Here, sign it for the corporate agenda, and he will. It's infinitely sad, but it is what it is, okay? George W. Bush was equally bad. Those were the worst. I guess Joe Biden is even worse. When you think, oh, it can't get any worse, then it gets worse. Oh my goodness. So, all right. Well, Joe Biden isn't even thinking or doing anything anymore. Okay, so they just go, sign this. Okay, I don't know what is sign. Okay, I'll sign, and then you get a cookie for it. Okay, so that's how it goes. And Kamala Harris will get drugs for it. So, and then she'll probably take over the seat, and she'll sign anything that the Rothschild, the corporate agenda wants from her. Anything, walking over corpses, doesn't matter. She wants her drugs, bath salt, whatever. I don't know. Infinitely sad, all of this. Really, 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 really scary for the planet and for the animal species and for our safety. I don't know what she would sign. She might, work for Lockheed Martin and let them take over, and they want war because they make money on war. So right here, anyone who's in the military, you think you think this is some kind of honorable job or something? Anyone out there who's for the Pat, for example, and many other people, like this guy Carton that I know, who's a contractor. He doesn't work for us. There's no way he's going to work for us. I ruined it. But I don't want someone working for us who has killed a pig with his bare hands. And bragged about it. It's like, no, red flag. Stay out of our property. Really seriously. And those are the people that are big on military. They sent their boys to Afghanistan to be killed. He had one of the friends of his sons there one day talking to us on our property, and I felt really sorry for that guy, for that kid, and I felt one time I saw his kids also at a pizza place, and I felt so sorry for them. They sat there with their heads hanging down. I could see they came after the mother. They're way more mellow than that guy. They're probably totally under the tyranny, dictatorship of that father. And they have no rights or to make up their own minds about it. No, he sends them into the military like doesn't even give them the chance to say, hey, wait a minute, I want to live, Dad, I want to live, my body, I don't want to get injured. No, you go to the military. Anyone who is for military, Pat, I love you, I care about you, but I have to say these things. This is not against you as a person. This is just, I'm giving you reality, I'm giving you information on ethics. Okay, very important. I want to talk to people about this. Don't come with insults and take offense. And come with an argument, but you don't, because you already know I'm going to completely straighten out that argument. So I have the truth on my side. Your egos already know that. Okay? So you can't even come with an argument, but try anyway. Come with an argument instead of an insult. If someone criticizes you, use that as an opportunity to introspect and say, hey, is it true? Let me think about this. Is it true? Or will you be completely hardened and you let your mind be run by the ego, or completely put an armor against any kind of reason, any kind of ethics. So I recommend not to do this and instead introspect and making a video, yes, and think about it, So I have the truth on my side. You know me very well. You've known me for a couple of years. Some of you guys have known me for much longer than I have known you, really, because you come with many different faces. So, but then again, I recognize the ways some people write, and then I connect the dots, and I think, oh, this is probably the same person as that, and yeah, I've seen that person, and yeah, they have bullied me really bad. Some of them were my nightmare bullies, okay? But what I find extremely touching and interesting and reassuring, really, for the species is that no matter how hardened and how hateful the haters and the trolls have been in the past, some of them have glimpses into their own minds now. Because I give you stability with that. I will never troll you back. I mean, last night I was pissed, and then I'll show you the mirror. Okay. I don't view it really as trolling. I'm not gonna troll you with an insult or something. I would never do that. But I will show you the mirror. Like what God once said, and whatever you say, Nikki's like a wall. She will just vomit everything back at you. You're right. That is what I'm doing, okay? If you vomit against the wall, it will vomit back at you, okay? And so yeah, that's like showing you a mirror, Here, look at your own vomit in the mirror. That's all I can say to that, If you spit out word vomit, then you have to expect that I will show the mirror and show that to you, what you're doing. Because how else am I going to get any sense into your mind at all? With Zane, for example. Dr. Fishback is Zane, and he is also Starshine, and he's also KF. Come on, I see through this entire thing, whatever. That's just so trollish. To keep on saying, we are women. No, okay? And you don't live in Australia. You live somewhere out there in Missouri or whatever, out there in the Bible Belt. That's where you live, okay? And that's why you have a problem with abortions. Let's look at it. Let's face this. Face it, man. Face it, okay? I care about you. Yes, I do. I care about you. I love you like a mother, okay? Boyfriend, girlfriend? No. You have tortured me, guy, Oh, you have tortured me, man. You have tortured me so much. For years and years and years and years and years and years. So, no, I see through all of this. You are all of these people, and you are in troll mode, and you are mad, and you come after me, and you want to retaliate. You come with insults, and that's a narcissistic repair. That's how it works. Your ego wants to repair itself because your ego feels like I won or something. No, the truth won. The truth. And if I have the truth on my side, then yeah, I still don't say that I won. The truth won. Okay, so I happen to be on the side of the truth. Okay, it's not about winning. This is not a video game, And Pat always says that. He always says this ain't no game, and that's the truth. It isn't. Life is not a video game. So don't play around with it, with your own biology, with your own mind. Okay, it's very important. Introspect. But then I see glimpses I see that you are thinking about it, okay? So you are giving this some second thoughts. You are giving this some time, okay? And I highly respect you for that, okay? You have moments of introspection. Now that's your chance. Okay, that's your chance at really being alive. That's the beginning. That's the entry point of the ego dissolution funnel. When Starshine said she would, which is a guy, of course, Zane, she hates herself, he hates himself. So he said I hate myself under the star shining. And later on I thought, first I thought that was an introspection, but then I thought, oh no, he's being sarcastic. He's mocking me, like he's accusing me of hating myself. No, I don't. I love myself. I love my body. I love my mind. That's why I take the time. That's why I have gone through so many therapies in my life. That's why I make this effort of introspection and of sitting with the emotions that are there, whatever it is. I sit with it. I don't run away from it. So running away from pain is not going anywhere. It's just going to make things even more convoluted. That causes even more war in the world, more misunderstandings, more trolling, okay? And it causes more suffering for you and others, and it's just not going anywhere. Okay, so you know it. You know I'm right. You know it. You can tell. You can feel it. Okay, and that's good. So go with that insight, with the gut instinct. But I also know, whether that was trolling and mocking or not, I know that is how you feel deep down. You hate yourself because your life is a friggin' mess. Okay? So, but there's no need to hate yourself. You need to begin to love yourself, okay, and straighten out that mess. Okay? If I sit in a room that is full of garbage, right, dirty, smelly garbage, do I say I hate my room and do nothing about it? Or do I say I love my room, let me clean it out? Right? Same with your mind, same with your body, with your health, all of that. You need sleep, you need a lot of sleep, man. You need to quit drinking alcohol, you need to quit taking drugs. Maybe you quit alcohol. So I hope that's true that you did. Stick with it. It's not easy. Stick with it. Don't go back on it. If you go back on alcohol, you betray yourself. But whatever you do, keep in mind, quit the alcohol. Even if you go back on it, say to yourself, quit the alcohol. A car that has a navigation system. Esther Hicks was always using that as a very great metaphor. Wherever we are in life, okay? If we have an internal navigation system that says, you are on the wrong track, take the next traffic light and turn left or turn right and make a U-turn and come back to the same freeway and go in the other direction. Okay? So the navigation, if we listen to our inner guide, our inner navigation system, then we can say, oh, this is going in the wrong direction, what I'm doing here. I have a real strong navigation system. That's why I quit all that shit at 25. Because at 25, actually, my cortex, that's what they say, the cortex is fully matured at 25. So we can do cognitive reasoning before, of course, but at 25, they said that the hemispheres have come to the full maturity and to peak performance, basically. And that's when I realized, oh yeah, I have a big navigation system here. Red flag. What I'm doing here is red flag. This isn't going anywhere at all. I was drinking vodka almost every day with my girlfriend Monica. And that was really messed up, man. Was that messed up? And we were smoking also. And once in a while I would go to some kind of punk concert or heavy metal concert. Motorhead in Osnabrück, the Easter Marathon. And then we would take these like, they were diet pills at that time. They were sold over the counter. They quickly fixed that and didn't allow that over the counter anymore. Too many people were abusing it. They were ephedrine hydrochloride, and not a good idea to quit eating so much. That's not, I didn't take it for that purpose. I took it for recreational, which is a completely wrong word. Okay. What I'm doing right now is recreational. I'm out here in the garden making a video without being on a substance. That's recreational. Okay, all of these plants here are recreational. Making a tea with that's here. Oregon grape. I'll show you. Yeah. You want to see recreational? Here. This is recreation. This thing here is recreational. This is the total recreational thing here. Spiky. Okay. Recreational. And I tell you why. This is mega. Okay. Some people cut that off, or also, I hate it when I see people spray pesticides or something like this. I'll go up to them and say, bro, I see you have liver problems. I can already see that. You don't need to go to a physician. Why don't you not use the pesticides and instead use the dandelion and the milk thistle, the stuff that you call weeds, I don't even want to repeat what you call it, Oregon grape. I hope nobody cuts that off, So Oregon grape, they have also little fruits. That's why they call them Oregon grapes, but they're kind of bitter. You can't eat those. Oregon grape, you have to be careful. Better wear gloves when you handle that. You cut that into little pieces. You put it in a pot. You put boiling water on it. You let it sit for an hour or 2 or 3 to also cool down the hot water. And then you drink the tea from that. And that's the ultimate liver cleanser. I'm going to do that later. I'm going to take that branch that sticks out there that Paul didn't cut. I'm so glad he didn't cut that. So totally amazing stuff, The ultimate liver cleanser. And dandelion and milk thistle are too. Okay. So now that's recreational. Okay. So, but I used to be on all kinds of stuff. I did all kinds of terrible things. I didn't question it. Everyone else was doing it. Paul also talked about it. How everyone else, once he quit, and then everyone else was still doing all of that, and then he fell back into it. So that makes it extra hard. If everyone else quits, it becomes so much easier to quit too. So it's very difficult. But then at 25, I realized it. I recognized it. I was already a fan of Rudolf Steiner. I had homeopathic remedies from different companies, including Veleda. And Veleda was founded by Rudolf Steiner. And I had stuff from Dr. Hauschka. I had the real expensive German homeopathic remedies, plant medicines, and cosmetic and perfume oils. And that didn't vibe together with the party lifestyle. So that helped me to get out of the party lifestyle completely. And then I became inventive, and then I said, in order to quit, I gotta find some kind of substitute. And then I had a bronchitis. I used that inhalator machine called Transpulmin inhalator that we had there in Germany, and Norbert said, "Oh, that feels like smoking a cigar." I said, "Yeah, well, that's exactly what I needed. I needed a substitute for the awful glowing rods that I wanted to quit." So then I threw the whole package away, and I talked about this many times before. And you can do it too, Danny and Pat and Gadwin and all of you guys, okay? Anyone who is on those terrible glowing rods, ew, ugh. And it smells so bad, So I try to help my brother. He doesn't listen, so it's his life. I can't invite my brother over. I can't. It wouldn't matter who it is. I could not invite my mother over if she smoked, but she doesn't. My parents don't smoke, but my brother does, okay? And I feel real bad that my brother is 5 years younger than I am, and I started all of that horrific party stuff when he was still like a child. I started all of that at 16 and he was 11, and then I dragged him into it, and I feel real bad about this. I feel real bad regret and remorse for that. But again, I was also like a child and totally confused and all of that. So, but I feel bad about this. And then I was able to quit and he wasn't. And I feel responsible kind of for that. It feels really bad. But ultimately, he can't blame me, or he can't blame anyone else. He has to want to quit. This decision has to come from within himself, okay? He can't be blaming anyone else for this, And I know it's difficult, and I know it's hard if other people in his friendship circles are still doing all of these things. It's very difficult. That's why I had to quit hanging out with people who are smokers. I had to quit that. I had to quit hanging out with people who drink alcohol. So it was even difficult hanging out with my dad, who drinks expensive wine. So he would say, "Hi, I got a nice wine here. Can I pour?" "No, thank you. I'm drinking Völkel red grape juice instead." Put that in a nice wine glass and say, "For everyone's wellness." And I really mean this literally, with red grape juice. And if you say, in Germany they say zum Wohl, when they say cheers, and zum Wohl means for your wellness. It's like, if you drink alcohol, it's not for your wellness. So it's kind of ironic, all of this. So my dad couldn't believe it that I quit. So he's looking like, how can anyone quit? Yeah, well, it takes really heavy convictions that are inside of you. It takes a navigation system that's inside of you that says, "Oh, you're going in the wrong direction here. This is not good for you. This is not good for your body. This doesn't serve the greater good. It's not good for others." Okay, it's Tony Robbins, Class 3 experience. Okay, something that may appear to feel good, and I have to word it that way because that doesn't even feel good, really. So that made it better for me, because I didn't even feel good. Drinking alcohol and smoking felt really awful in the end. That was just an addiction, It became a physical addiction. My nervous system became addicted to it, and I thought I needed that to calm down my brain. But I also knew that there are thousands of other modalities that are safe that are also calming down my brain. So of course, like Kratom, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. So I'm glad that you're taking these things into consideration. I'm glad that, if I keep talking about this, that I can remind you of this. I can be your navigation system, Use me as your navigation system, and then strengthen your own navigation system with that. And use these alternatives. Kratom is a very popular one, and probably not the best, okay, because it's popular. Oh my goodness, look at that dog. Look at that dog. Look at look at that dog. Look at that dog. Look at that dog. Oh my goodness. He needs a lot of exercise. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You are so powerful. Oh my gosh. That's good to see him happy. This is so good. He has to do a lot of catching up now of exercise and running, and he is crapping now. And running, I don't want to show that. I want to give him privacy with that. So yes, you're doing so well. You're such a good dog. Oh yes, such a good dog. Such good bowel movements, like 3-4 bowel movements per day. Very good metabolism. That's another thing Dr. Richard Schultz talks about, how important it is to cleanse out your body. You need to detox and you get all of that shit, literally the shit out of your system. You got to get that out. You got to cleanse out your body, your cells, your blood vessels. Your liver has to work so incredibly hard. Making tea with Oregon grape, that's really lifesaver. And with all of those amazing herbs that are growing out there on parking lots or in your garden, don't cut that down. Don't, particularly, never ever 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 never ever put poison on it. Never ever. Just, if you don't want it there, then you can pull it by hand. You can make a tea with it. You can also eat the roots. You can cook the roots of dandelion. You can make a syrup with it. Eden Foods has a great... No, that's exactly... See what he's doing? No. He already with this nutcracker. Oh my gosh. Oh my... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so scared. I'm so scared that he is... I'm scared. I have to be, baby. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk harshly, but I have to stop him. So I had to say no. Yes, I had to do. Okay. So no. See, I saw this coming. All right. That's why I have to be here at all times. That's why we have to watch our dogs at all times. I knew he was gonna go for one of those clips. Okay. And he cracked that open. He cracked that apart in one bite. It was like crack, and then it broke off. It's amazing. I mean, he bites into a branch like this thick, for example, and cracks it into 2 pieces. This is amazing. You can watch how this jaw works. He has enormous jaw muscles that are incredibly bulky, like the ultimate nutcracker. This is a crusher jaw. This is incredible, with unbelievably sharp, pointy teeth. He can crunch everything apart. So we have to be real careful with him and not allow him to do this. And I have to always watch him, always monitor the dog. Yes, that's what I have to do. Yes, such a good dog. So he's also bored, and I see he's unbelievably intelligent, incredibly intelligent. He watches Paul whenever Paul's in the garage working with tools. He watches every move. He watches his hands, what he's doing with the tools, and he wants to play with that. He wants to touch all of that with his mouse and explore everything. Like a little child coming into the world, they put things into their mouth. So that's what dogs do, of course, So He can't really touch that with his hands. He tries to do that too, but they mainly use their mouths for exploring stuff and tasting things and checking things out, and that's why we have to be really, really extra careful and monitor them at all times. Very, very important. So, I don't know how old Zane is. He may be older than me, he may be younger than me. I have no idea. It doesn't matter, really. He may be the same age. It doesn't matter how old we are. Take advice from someone who has studied things, okay? So, someone who's an expert on things like holistic healing, which I consider myself to be, because I've done a lot of researching. I have done testing on myself, okay? I ended up in the hospital even. So, yeah, I'm a serious green witch researcher on myself, okay? And I found the most amazing things, okay? And there are the most amazing, for example, that one tree that you see there that's sticking up, also kind of shaped like a needle tree. That's an Oregon grape, growing completely like, I'm gonna go over there and show you. That's an Oregon grape that has never been cut. Okay, so that's the Oregon grape right there. That tree growing to 20 feet tall now, with it kind of conically shaped, okay, like a needle tree, but they have pointy, spiky leaves. That's an Oregon grape in its natural form, with a real thick tree trunk, getting a thick tree trunk in the middle. And I don't know how big they're gonna get, but they are absolutely amazing. And you can, I don't know if it shows in the video, but they have little red berries. That tree here has some red berries in there, and there's another tree next to it that also has little red berries as well. This here is ivy. This is ivy, and they also have berries. They're extremely bitter. Ivy is also highly medicinal, okay, antiviral. This is a real nice, amazing, powerful flu and cough medicine. If you make tea with this here, this is amazing stuff. This is also antifungal, for example. And then we have these fluffy things. I don't know what this is called, but this is a very ancient, sort of like a horsetail. I think that's what it's called. And this is ancient. This is like this comes from the Jurassic era. I love it. Some people don't want it in their garden. I absolutely love it. The fluffy stuff. The dogs love to play with those. They make really excellent toys. And it's all natural material, so it's safe for them to chew on it and to shred them up. Dogs like to shred stuff apart, so that's perfect for dogs, But I would cut it right underneath the fluffy stuff, so that the dogs don't bite into those blade leaves. The blade leaves are serrated like a knife, so we have to be careful about that. And then that is an apple tree, and there's all kinds of other stuff growing into the apple tree. I love it. I think it's nice. It's really nice how the ivy has grown over that lattice. That looks really, really good. So we have made a garden Eden out of this backyard. When we first got the house, this was a terrible mess, everything. So the English laurel was like really, really small, just like 4 feet tall or something. This grew into this humongous cube. This is so, so wonderful. Absolutely love all of these plants. And wherever you live, you have medicinal plants everywhere. Okay, so just check it out, research it. Kratom is not the best, but definitely a good one to phase out the other stuff. So use it as an intermittent and then go to something safer than that, because that too can create addiction and habits and stuff like this. So for the nervous system, okay, so I wouldn't stay with it. Just use it for maybe a week or two, not longer than that, and then go over to definitely rhododendron leaf tea and ivy leaf, and definitely recommend the Oregon grape. So if you have, they grow in a very wide range in the northern hemispheres. I don't know if they grow in Australia. I'm sure you're not in Australia, but they grow. They could grow in Australia, like Melbourne, where Yas lives. So I'm sure they have Oregon grape there. So where it's a little bit colder, or Tasmania, where Enigma lives. So I'm sure they have Oregon grape there, but not in the tropical regions probably. But in the tropical regions you have all kinds of other amazing medicinal plants out there. If you live in Malaysia, and you can there's such a variety, okay, of plants that are very, very helpful and healing. And wherever you are, it doesn't matter where you are, Germany or United States or Malaysia or the equator, anywhere, or Australia or whatever, or Middle East, okay? There are amazing plants in the Middle East. So value this, okay? Value this planet, value life. That is my message for everyone, okay? And don't go to war. Peace out.